Hey everybody, welcome back. So, lots of comments in my last video. It's quite interesting to see people's different perspectives. Quite a few of you agree with me that Harry is really unhappy. The fact that he's trying to maybe sneak into the UK. I honestly do think he snuck in, because there's no way that I believe that that wouldn't have been leaked beforehand, especially by Harry's attention-seeking, paparazzi-loving wife, who is definitely having another bad week. Meghan's American Riviera orchard trademark has run into trouble yet again. Her trademark has been denied and she has 3 months to fix the issue with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. If she doesn't, then her whole application could be abandoned. She's also got to pay more money as she failed to pay the correct application fee initially. Doesn't she have all these top executives apparently working for her and Archewell? But I suppose they never stick around long enough maybe to actually finish what they started. Mama Knows Best LLC is the parent company who filed the application and shares the same business address as Archewell. It's also a near copy of Martha Knows Best, which is Martha Stewart's brand. When the application was first submitted, it was outlined to be flogging kitchen and drinkware and jams, but has since become very broad with all of the descriptions that yet again has caused further complications with the trademark application, with further reports even stating that various parts of the paperwork hadn't even been signed. Clearly, paperwork is not one of Meghan's strong points, nor is research, because it gets worse for her. On the 31st of August, the Patent Office said businesses are not allowed to trademark geographic locations. So where the nickname of the coastline surrounding Meghan and Harry's reported home and Santa Barbara is called the American Riviera, calling her business venture American Riviera Orchard might cause further complications and may not even be allowed. So in fact, after all of this, she's paid the extra fees, got all of the problems sorted, she may in fact still have to change the name of it. I find this honestly so bizarre. It's very clearly obvious that she launched it because she wanted to overshadow Prince William and the Diana Awards. But honestly, who would launch a venture such as this without getting all of your paperwork sorted, and especially just doing some basic research? Can I call my business this? Can I trademark it? She hasn't even done the bare minimum. So all these business lawyers and business managers she's apparently got working for her, they clearly are not being paid enough. The comedy with Meghan writes itself. She is truly the Duchess of Disaster. Now, moving briefly away from the self-exiled ex-royals, let's talk about His Majesty, who was looking really well as he opened the Royal Horticultural Society's annual summer show on Saturday. But in a funny video clip that's been shared, the King had a little bit of difficulty as he tried to cut the ribbon with some shears.
Just like that. Woo! If it works, but it doesn't Oh my goodness.
Despite people always making out that he's a miserable grump, he laughed it off with everyone else. He actually, alongside Queen Camilla and the rest of the royals, Princess Anne is known for being the same. I think that they actually do have a good sense of humour, especially when chatting to members of the public. They laugh at themselves, they don't take themselves too seriously, and it's just the media they like to capture those moments. And as we know, all right, I've seen the King look grumpy at times. We all have off days, and when we have our off days, don't generally have the worldwide media shoving a camera in our face to capture the moment. So moving on to my next non-Harry and Meghan story, we've had some exciting updates from the Earthshot Prize. They have now appointed 5 new faces to join the team, and one of them may have a few plates smashing over in Montecito. They have appointed 2 new ambassadors to represent the Earthshot Prize on the world stage. First, we have South African actress and activist Nomzamo Bata, who is also an ambassador for the United Nations Commission for Refugees, and she has created the Lighthouse Foundation, which invests in education and training young people back in her home country of South Africa. The second appointment is Australian wildlife enthusiast and conservationist Robert Irwin, who is carrying on his father's legacy alongside his sister Bindi, hopefully not upsetting as many crocodiles in the process. Robert and Bindi were 2 and 8 when Steve Irwin sadly lost his life from a freak accident with a stingray. Both Robert and Bindi have also made a career for themselves, carrying on their father's work with wildlife conservation, and both work with the Australian Zoo. Both new ambassadors were at the Singapore Earthshot Prize last year and handed out awards. And this year, they will be using their platforms going forward, and obviously their appeal to a younger fan base. They will be helping to champion the amazing work that the Earthshot Prize winners do and will continue to do. Now, quite a few people say, well, do you know what, Taz? It's a little bit hypocritical that you promote the Earthshot Prize and you support it, but you lay into Prince Harry with, Travelist and the things that he does for climate change. The difference is Harry preaches from his ivory tower like a lot of big name celebrities do, where they go around in super yachts, supercars, fly around in private jets. Like I said, they use them like taxi services. And yet they like to preach at the rest of us that we can't go on our annual holiday to Spain for a week. The Earthshot Prize is not about preaching at people. It's about creating solutions to repair the damage that we have already done, not making up stuff. This is to do with cleaning up rivers and oceans, saving the forests, helping animal conservation, making the world a better place for future generations, helping to make the planet last that little bit longer. And when it comes to pollution, I believe that the planet definitely needs saving from us. So yes, when it comes to Harry and Travelist and all of that, I think a lot of that is made up twaddle. I think it's for the rich elitists to preach at us and to try and virtue signal to say, aren't we fabulous? Yet they're the ones that cause more damage to the ozone layer with carbon footprint and all of the other crap that they preach at us than what we do. So aside from the 2 new ambassadors, 3 new faces have joined the Earthshot Council who will be helping to select this year's winners of the prize. You've got Wanjura Maathai, who is a Kenyan environmentalist and activist. Then you've got Namonte Nkwemu, who is an Ecuadorian activist who is an incredible campaigner trying to save the Amazon, which is her ancestral homeland. And then Jose Andres, founder of the World Central Kitchen. World Central Kitchen is actually an incredible organisation that works on the front lines, providing meals to emergency workers and those affected by catastrophes, earthquakes, flooding, fires, war zones. They provide food relief in the face of crisis. Now, outside of obviously the huge humanitarian work that this organisation does, you might have heard of it because the World Central Kitchen has also previously teamed up with Archewell, which means, well, I translate it to, Harry and Meghan once made a minimal donation and then they were allowed to use the organisation to promote themselves and Archewell. Meghan made it known last year that she had also donated a special recipe, her signature dish, for a charity cookbook, and it was her lemon oil cake. I mean, for years we'd heard it was Meghan's banana bread that was meant to be her signature dish, but now it's lemon oil cake. It makes you wonder, who did she steal that off of? But as for World Central Kitchen, when Harry and Meghan released their impact statement of all of the things, notice the wording, that they had done, they had claimed credit for the efforts of World Central Kitchen, despite Harry and Meghan possibly not ever doing anything other than making a donation. This was when they also got slapped down by Global Citizen, where they claimed that they were the ones that helped push a vaccine drive, and he was like, it was a joint effort. But the fact that Jose has now teamed up with Prince Harry's arch nemesis, his brother, Prince William, and the Earthshot Prize, has definitely raised a few eyebrows. Maybe it's because he's worked out that Harry and Meghan are fake humanitarians, especially after they went to Nigeria and Colombia, visited some poor areas, and still happily used taxpayers' cash to fund their holiday. And not only that, I did notice that when sad news came out recently that World Central Kitchen had lost a number of volunteers, they were actually volunteering in Gaza and got killed by an airstrike. Harry and Meghan, despite using the organisation to promote themselves as humanitarians, they stayed unusually quiet. But as we all know and have seen, once you have used up your usefulness for Meghan, it's like you don't exist. So perhaps this so-called partnership has definitely fallen through. Let's be honest, it's not the first time that someone has distanced themselves from the couple. You've got George and Amal Clooney, who were once obviously defending Harry and Meghan until they worked out, I think, their true nature. And as we know, George and Amal now work closely with the King's Trust, as does another famous face who've DJ'd at Harry and Meghan's wedding and also gave them a piece of artwork as a wedding present. Well, as we know, Idris Elba got his big break because of the Prince's Trust, now known as the King's Trust, and he also works closely alongside the King as a promoter for the King's Trust. Then you've got Jacinda Ardern. Now, I know quite a few people are not a massive fan of her, but she also teamed up with the Earthshot Prize. She was the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. Well, she appeared in Harry and Meghan's Blink and You Miss It, Live to Lead Netflix documentary. And she put out a statement and said she did not work with Harry and Meghan. When she filmed that clip that featured in their documentary, she had actually filmed it when it was part of the Mandela Project. She'd agreed to do it because she believed it was going towards the Mandela Foundation. Obviously, that fell apart, and for some reason, it got sold to Netflix to pass it on, and they thought, oh, well, this is a project Harry and Meghan surely can't screw up. And obviously they didn't quite take into account the negative reaction that Harry and Meghan bring whenever their faces appear on TV. But the fact that Jacinda publicly said, whoa, no, I didn't work with them, I'm nothing to do with what they're up to, that goes to show the negative reaction that Harry and Meghan bring to people when they think, I'm not getting tainted with that reverse Midas touch, thank you very much. Even we had the stories that Harry and Meghan were now such close friends with Gwyneth Paltrow and Cameron Diaz, because Meghan timed a paparazzi stroll going into a sushi bar and Cameron Diaz with Benji Madden were outside. The couples didn't embrace or even speak to each other, but that was reported that they were all hanging out and having lunch together. Well, isn't it funny when Meghan was recently apparently sniffing around for sponsors to do with RO, she was up in the Hamptons and you had Cameron Diaz, Gwyneth Paltrow, Reese Witherspoon, they were all there and they didn't have their photograph taken with her or invite her to their goop lunch. Meghan, in fact, didn't get her photograph done with many celebrities because of the same thing. She's toxic and Hollywood A-listers do not want their brands tainted. Now, to finish up the video and continuing on that same storyline of people shutting the door in Meghan's face after a while, once they've realised, I guess, her true nature, and she's not quite the lovely humanitarian that she likes to paint herself out to be, a story's come out which really made me laugh. And I don't know if it's true, I'll admit that, but there's a bit of me that really, really hopes it is. And that is apparently one of the people that's now decided to shut the door in Meghan's face is none other than Kris Jenner. Now, we saw Meghan dancing at the Beyonce concert, one end of the balcony with the Kardashians. And it was strange she never actually got her photograph taken with them while she was there, like she did a couple of other people. But what was funnier was, I think it was not long after, Doria, her mother, had her photograph done with Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner at another event. Now, the last that I heard about their budding relationship, or whatever you want to call it, was Harry was reportedly skiing. That's when he dialed into the Diana Award with Corey Gamble, which is Kris Jenner's boyfriend. And then Kris Jenner got her bowl of lemons with the jam in from Meghan when she was sending, what was it, 1 of 50 jars, and only, I think, 10 people came forward. Well, one of the people that came forward, which I'm sure Meghan was very grateful for, was Kris Jenner. So she promoted it on her Instagram. Now, I'm not a follower of the Kardashians because I never have been. I can honestly proudly say, hand on heart, I've never watched a single episode of the Kardashians. But I do know that all of them, including the Jenners, a post from them can earn people millions. They get paid millions to advertise. Kris Jenner's post was the bare minimum. There was no big promotion, no Chrissy Teigen eating it or Nacho proving that it's edible. It was basically the absolute bare minimum that you could do. And I wondered at the time if Kris Jenner felt obligated to do it, that she felt that she'd been pushed into the corner. So she was just like, oh, yes, here's Meghan's bowl of skanky ass lemons and her jam, and she was done with it. Because the thought that Kris Jenner is now saying, I'm not going to deal with Meghan, the reason why it entertains me or amuses me so much is because I remember when Meghan married into the royal family, when Meghan was inviting all of these A-listers to come to her wedding instead of her own family members, because we know she was looking up future deals, future things that she could do when they eventually left. Well, at the time it was reported that Kim Kardashian had tried to reach out on several occasions to Meghan to offer her friendship. She'd apparently sent her some presents and, you know, just a nice welcome in saying, hey Meghan, I'll take a wedding invite, or I can come to your baby shower in New York. Well, it came out through sources, of course, that Meghan felt that the Kardashians were not the right fit. They were beneath her. And where I find this, as I said, highly entertaining is I love the thought that the Kardashians now are going, do you know what? Meghan's so far down that greasy pole. She's fallen from grace so much that she's actually beneath the Kardashians, that they're going, she's just not worth us risking our brand and tarnishing our reputations by dealing with her, because that to me would be a little bit of divine karma. So many people say about Meghan that she needed to be careful. Well, it's not just Meghan, it is an actual saying. Be nice to the people on your way up, because you never know who's going to be waiting to kick you or slam the door in your face on your way back down. And this is what I think Meghan is finding. But yeah, no, I love that. It really does make me smile inside my tummy, the thought that the Kardashians are going, hell no, you're too toxic for us. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back, not as soon as what I have been for these two videos. It's because I'm having a few days away and I'm going somewhere where there's no internet. Yes, places like that do in fact still exist. So don't worry, I will update you as soon as I'm back, and you should get some pretty interesting holiday snaps. So take care for now, and I will see you soon. Bye.